Professor Bokwin, a professor of finance and economics with the University of Ghana Business School. Prof, if you can hear me, good morning and thanks so much for your time with us.
Yes, good morning. Happy New Year and good morning to your cherished listeners.
Happy New Year to you too. I'm glad, we're speaking to you this morning.
Thank you.
Very well. So first off, we're going to talk about the economy, and then the finance minister has, started on a very good note with some initiatives. Yesterday was the formation of a committee, put together to form the gold board to ensure its establishment. Now we're going to see how best things are going to be put in place, and then how the economy is also going to revive itself. But first off, let's begin with the gold board. What happened yesterday, and then take your initial reactions on that.
Well, thank you very much. I think that our economy is
Kessben.
Our economy. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Prof.
Yes, our economy is driven significantly by the gold economy or the gold value chain. So, in the last 15 years, gold alone contributed more than 20% to our GDP growth. So, our GDP growth is driven significantly by gold mining and quarrying. Then again, if you look at revenue, tax revenue,
yes,
with the exception of the financial and services sector, financial and insurance, you have mining and quarrying being a leading contributor to our tax revenue. However, even though with all these good stories, job creation from the mining sector has, in the last 15 years, has practically declined. Also because of the deployment of greater technology, which is a substitute for labor. Now, and then again, it has also not contributed to narrowing inequality. Poverty has actually increased. Now, if you look at last year, the first 2 quarters growth last year were also driven significantly by gold. So you will see that in the last 10 years, there is a shift towards more gold production. Gold production, not only in terms of large or industrial gold mining by the multinationals, but again, when you come to the lower end of it, artisanal small-scale mining, and then you can link that to illegal mining. The gold production has increased significantly. Look, when you get to see the data, you'll be amazed. So, this is natural wealth that God has given us. But I can assure you that Ghana and Ghanaians broadly have not benefited optimally from the gold God gave all of us. That's a fact. You know why it is so?
No, I'm listening.
If you pick industrial mining, we have not invested in that area. So it's foreigners who have invested in that area, and they are repatriating their profit and everything away. Then again, when it comes to artisanal small-scale mining, we have not been able to properly regulate that sector. And therefore, there is large unaccounted gold production in that value chain. Artisanal small-scale mining, link that to illegal mining. Our economy today, look, let me tell you, our democracy is financed and sustained significantly by irresponsible mining. It's a fact. They are the ones financing political parties, holding them to ransom. So if you see the surge in irresponsible mining, I'm using the word irresponsible mining to also include illegal mining and even those artisanal small-scale miners who have license and are doing irresponsible mining. Now, this is the real issue we should be concerned about. Because a good number of them are underground, so to speak. they actually don't make full declaration of the gold production to the state. Do you know that? They don't.
Yes, they under declare, what they are getting.
Yes, and what they are producing. So what it means is that the state, on behalf of all of us, is not getting the maximum revenue from the gold production. Okay, let me give you some statistics. Okay?
Yes.
Between 2012 and 2022, over an 11-year period, $115.3 billion. Have you seen $1 billion before? 115 of them were smuggled out of this continent within an 11-year period. Can you imagine?
That's a lot for this economy. Yet we are
150.
the IMF.
Yes. So, and out of this, the continent, Africa, do you know the countries contributing significantly to the gold smuggling in Africa? There are 3 countries contributing significantly to gold smuggling in Africa. Which are those countries? Ghana, your country Ghana, Mali, and Zimbabwe. These 3 countries are fully represented in the gold smuggling in Africa. You know what is happening? Benin. When we mention Benin, does gold production come to mind? No.
Yes.
How about Togo? Does gold production come to mind? No. But today, Benin and Togo are showing up strongly in the database as gold exporting countries. Do you know why? Ghana and Ghanaians with facilitators are smuggling gold through our porous borders through Togo, Benin, and exporting it out of this country.
I'm just looking at the central bank data, and then the central bank has published that in 2024 alone,
it's not reliable.
It's not reliable.
Let me tell you something.
No.
I see where you're coming from. It's not reliable. The central bank data is not representative.
In which context are we putting this?
Because the total gold production is not declared. What is declared and exported through the official channel is what Bank of Ghana records.
Okay.
But if you check other countries, for instance, Bank of Ghana will tell you that we exported gold worth, let's say, $5 billion.
Yes, they are saying that in 2024, total gold exports stood at $11.6 billion. Yes.
Great. But the next question you ask yourself is, which countries were these gold exported to? So you then need to check in the database of those other countries, how much gold did they also say they imported from Ghana? When you compare, you see the difference. Let me tell you something. Let's not kid ourselves. The bulk of the gold smuggling, do you know the country it goes to?
Where?
United Arab Emirates. Check for Bank of Ghana's own data. Do you know that United Arab Emirates today is our largest export destination country?
In terms of gold resources?
No, total export.
Total export, okay.
What is the historical tie between Ghana and United Arab Emirates? For them to be the leading exporting destination, it's simply because of the gold economy. Over 85% of all gold smuggled out of Africa, for which Ghana is heavily represented, are smuggled to United Arab Emirates.
Yes, but one would have thought, a lot of this smuggling, might have landed in China because probably, so to speak, they have their national...
Let me tell you something. United Arab Emirates is a transit.
Kessben.
Did you get what I said?
Yes, I did.
It's a transit. It's a conduit to the rest of the world. That's what is happening. So do you know something?
Yes, I'm listening, Prof.
We are in this country crying that we don't have money. And we are relying excessively on foreign aid and foreign finances. But there's so much that Ghana loses through trade-based invoicing, illicit financial flows. Look, Ghana and Africa as a whole is the only continent where water flows upwards, not downwards.
Prof, but in context, if you listen to the finance minister during the vetting, he gave the assurances that This time around, we don't need to do a lot more of taxing. I mean, we need to find several ways of generating revenue.
We just need to block those holes.
Exactly.
And that is why.
So my question will be that, I mean, coming into place of this gold board, how are we going to secure all these loopholes that we find in our economy?
Precisely. It's not going to be easy. Because those who are in this gold smuggling, aggregators, are politically connected. So the challenge, and you see, we need to recognize the effort being made to address it, and then we see how that effort can be made comprehensive. Okay, so, and it's not only the NDC. Look, check the NPP's manifesto. Let me take you back a bit. 2024 manifesto. Do you know that the NPP in their manifesto stated that they will reduce the final withholding tax on gold export by artisanal small-scale miners from 3% to 1%. And you know the purpose?
No.
To curb smuggling. To curb what? Smuggling. So the MPP that was in power for 8 years presided over the biggest gold smuggling in our history. What was the recommendation of the NDC? The NDC that said that, look, this gold, we are not benefiting optimally from it. Let's set up a gold board, something similar to cocoa board. You know cocoa board?
Yes.
That will be in charge of total gold exports. But we know that with cocoa board, people were still smuggling cocoa to Cote d'Ivoire and the rest, right?
Yes, but that will be on a very minimal side. I mean.
So that is why I'm saying that it's a good proposal. Let's see how we can make it work. Look, let me tell you something. This is not conjecturing, right? We have done empirical work. And do you know how much Ghana loses annually?
No.
Through this gold smuggling, it's over $2 billion annually.
While we go into the IMF for $3 billion.
Yes. So that tells you, see, sometimes we behave in this country like we have not gone to school. And the reason you see all these things is that we don't love one another. Greed, selfishness. Because for a morsel of bread, a Ghanaian will sell his birthright and the birthright of the next generation for a morsel of bread. Let me tell you something. If you see the gold smuggling, it's the whites and the others who are benefiting optimally from it. Of course, with local facilitators.
Now, with the emphasis placed on smuggling, I mean, something comes to mind. We have issued licenses for gold export. Private individuals have it. I mean, companies do have it. I mean, so how do we track? Because I am told that the PMMC is responsible.
They are not tracking optimally.
To track the assaying of the gold from our shores to its final destination. So why are we unable to do some of these things?
Master, let me tell you something. Let me gossip small. Let me gossip small this morning.
With you, yes.
Do you know why Bank of Ghana now is into gold buying?
No.
It's about following the money. Because the economy is largely gold. They've seen the data. They've seen the smuggling. Precious minerals is not able to totally account for the gold export production. So they are in. It's about follow the money. Okay, so what was it? The state, of course, there are powerful individuals behind all of this, even with Bank of Ghana's blessing. But what I'm saying is that there should be a way of nationally accounting for every gold that is produced. Then we can get the revenue optimally and use it for our national development. Look, you know something? Oh, you've been to South Africa before, right?
Yes.
Go to South Africa. See the mining communities. Go to advanced countries. See where gold is mined. See how nice those communities are. Go to Obuasi. Go to Obuasi and see where we've mined gold for years. There's nothing to show for. Nothing to show for.
I see. Now, Prof, wrapping it up on this one, I mean, the finance minister has charged the committee to put together a framework that will see to the establishment of the gold board. What, I mean, must we consider? Because, I mean, you've touched on so many things this morning. So what must really come into the framework whilst we foresee the establishment of the gold board?
There has to be a strong sanctioning regime.
Okay.
For smuggling. And then also licensing, mining must be properly regulated. So it has to be holistic. And I think that it should not just be the legal framework for the gold board, but we should look at the entire value chain of sustainable mining. So government must have a bigger and general approach to all of this? Because you know something? Because the biggest threat to our country and our future is actually irresponsible mining, which also includes illegal mining. We will be in this country in maximum 5-10 years. A good number of Ghanaians, the only option left for them will be to run away from this country.
Should we get
because there will be no potable water and all of that. Look, let me tell you something. We are behaving like we are not human beings. Just destroying our water bodies, our environment, in the name of just getting money, greed.
Prof, now that we have the gold board coming on board, should we get to a point where we say, okay, in the licensing regime for private companies to do the export of gold must be a thing of the past, and then allow the gold board to only do the export of gold so that adequately we can track whichever gold that is leaving the shores of Ghana?
It will depend on the approach they want to adopt. Okay. Within Cocoa Board, okay, there are private licensed buyers who buy on behalf of Cocoa Board. Is that okay?
Yes.
But all of that must be declared to Cocoa Board and all of that. So let's think through and see the approach that works and allows for private participation. But the private participation, we must increase local content so that we take greater ownership in that as well. Okay, so for under the current smuggling and the declaration and all of that, really, I think that we just have to support government efforts in addressing that and making sure that it's comprehensive enough. As I said, the biggest threat to the gold board will be their own party financiers who are benefiting optimally from that corruption, that value chain.
Very well. But on Friday, 17 January, I mean, the Daily Graphic published a conversation you had on X Spaces, I mean, indicating that you have said that agric is the backbone of this economy, and definitely that must be used in resetting our economy. Now, the question is that all these years we've been practicing agriculture, and then we've been saying to ourselves that this is the backbone of our economy. But why do we come back again to this conversation? I have read through the stories and then some of the salient points you made in that particular conversation. But what should we do as a country whilst we make the resetting agenda?
We are big talkers in terms of policy and governance, and we are shallow with implementation. That is what has brought us here.
We are just shallow with implementation.
Yes. You know something? In 2003, there was a Malipo declaration of spending at least 10% of your expenditure in the area of agriculture. Ghana has not fulfilled its part. So we are not optimally allocating resources to agriculture. And we've left it to peasant farmers. I hope you understand that.
Yes.
With practically no support. And even sometimes the support they said they are giving to peasant farmers, it doesn't get to them on time. Fertilizer input. Do you know that fertilizer, we were smuggling fertilizer to Burkina Faso? You know that,
yes,
right?
I know. I'm very much aware of
that. Fertilizer that should go to farmers so that they can produce. This country is like we are joking. Okay, it's not only just that. It's not just agriculture. Agriculture as a standalone is not what will help us. But I was saying that let's link agriculture to agribusiness and agro-processing. Is that okay? So if you look at that entire value chain, the job creation potential is the highest in this country. So if any decent government wants to really create decent jobs, then you must look at agriculture, link that to agribusiness and agro-processing. The job creation potential, the poverty reduction and inequality reducing effect is very high. Then that is not the only thing. Only inflation, I say, what's for Ghana? Our inflation is driven largely by food inflation. Look, Ghana is one of the most expensive countries to eat from in this world. Ghana.
And that stood around 23.8%
in
as of December 24. Yes.
2024, food inflation was actually 27%. It was the average inflation, which includes food and non-food inflation, that came to 23.8. Okay. But food inflation alone was more than 27%. Can you imagine that you live in a country where over a 12-month period, food prices on the average went up by almost 27%? What can you do in that country? Okay, do you know something?
That is very much on the high. I mean,
yeah, food inflation in Cote d'Ivoire is less than 3%. If you want to go and eat from there this morning, is permissible.
Interesting. Prof, I'll wrap up with you on the 7-member committee put up to ensure, the National Economic Dialogue happens. What are we to look at, in terms of the dialogue as to how we will reposition this economy?
I think this because of politics of everything, the economy is polarized.
Okay.
Right. We are even unable to come to terms as to where exactly we are, our debt position and all of that. So I was looking at it that to govern, even though the NDC won the election, we are talking about over 30% of Ghanaians who didn't vote for the party that won. Mm-hmm. You need to carry everybody along. So what has been lacking is the fact that we've not been able to build consensus along where we are, where we want to get to, and how do we get there. One of the things that people asked for severally under the previous administration was some kind of a national forum, even on our debt restructuring. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
The IMF even recommended it. You needed to do that to carry the people along, because at the center of policy prescription is the people. Okay, so build consensus. So that is why I'm saying that it's a good starting point, that we want to build consensus on where we are and where we want to get to. And the next important question will be, how do we get there? What should be the price and what should be the reward and all of that. But remember that in this country, we have had one too many of this. Do you know that?
Yes, I remember the Senchi Forum.
Yes. Even apart from that, we've had several of this. And what the forum will come out at the end will be recommendations, strategies, and amebwa.
Yes.
But strategies alone don't deliver results unless they are implemented. So the onus is on the government to embrace the recommendations and implement them effectively and efficiently. So we haven't had problems about strategy and look, Ghana's development is in the library, Ghana's development is in the shelves. You know why? Because our strategies and everything well crafted are not implemented. They are sitting in the shelves, in the libraries, gathering dust. So our development is actually in the library. That's where you can find it. It's not out there. And the reason why the development is in the literature and the library and not reflecting in your pocket and your standard of living is because of lack of implementation. Have you observed what is happening in the U.S.?
In terms of?
Donald Trump.
Yes, he's taking certain radical, action in terms of
that is what we call, you may not like him, but that is what we call leadership. On his first day in office, you see the number of orders?
Yes.
Okay, do you know that our president up to now has not put his own complete team together?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you something. Donald Trump, he said we're going to solve the immigration border issue. Do you know what he did? He declared state of emergency. You know that? Mm-hmm. Do you know the number of times Ghanaians called on the former president to declare state of emergency on illegal mining? He didn't do it. Do you know that this president, since he came, it's been a couple of weeks, right?
What have they done? Only 3 weeks today.
Yes. What have they done about irresponsible mining, which causes existential threat? Nothing. This is the difference between Africa and the rest of the world. It comes down to leadership. You know why? Fish rot from the head.
Very well. Prof, I'm highly grateful for your time this morning. Thanks for talking to us.
God bless you.
We hope to do this more often. I'm grateful. And to Professor Bokpin, Professor of Finance with the University of Ghana Business School, speaking to us. Andra, Minister, any team no in Komo and was setting up the gold board, putting together a legal team, womo ebema the framework no aba na afi the establishment of the gold board no etimi aye juma eno hon komo ana ye kodi ye no. But Andra, Ora Makofiboa Ekasai, the minister designate for lands and natural resources, yentie wono kakra emra at the appointment committee vetina ekoso Andra yeba to aso na many abidwafo ahyase edin komo yentie minister.
On 11 September 2024, His Excellency the President, President John Dramani Mahama, at Impoho constituency, in the Impoho constituency, specifically at Edum Manso. Edum Banso. Thank you very much for the question. Edum Banso said this, and I quote, I will grant all Galamsees imprisoned under Akufo-Addo amnesty. And this is captured on the Ghana website. Please, I want to know, Honorable Nominee, what would be your advice to President Mahama on this comment? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. Illegal mining activities is devastating our environment, destroying our water bodies. The stories about diseases, deformities of children being born are very serious matters that I have described. And that is why we have laid out all the programs that will give opportunity for anybody. And Chairman, let me put it bluntly, and I've said, and I want to say it again. This fight against illegal mining, you can call it Galamsey, is going to be pursued with the support of the people of Ghana. It's going to be a bipartisan fight because it goes to the root of whether our country will survive or not. And we don't take that as a joke at all. And so let me say it clearly. I think that there was a reference to making sure that those powerful forces that are always behind the small guys are dodging. That's the reference the president was making, if that's what you are trying to make. And that's the point we are making. We are not only going to make sure that people who are small guys who are working in the field are the ones that are going to be, but the big guys who are buying the machines, once we've created the avenue and the opportunity for the right things to be done, all those powerful people who are in the dark causing this havoc are the ones who deal with it.
All right, that is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, designate. Ura Imaduala Marco Fibua, Elembelem Rashibijeni, and Endra, appointment committee in Totona. No. What is or Casado? It's exactly 18 after 8. Stay with me. Tanasi Anope, lawyer Ishaq Ibrahim, a lecturer with the UPSA Law School, and then a member of the NPP's legal directorate. Anope Watanasi, Yane Womo, Ebabidi, and Komo, Ma, Wajin training in Ano, Emra. Yabeje na yakin kind Eddie amount. So we're joining you live on TV, Kessben television. We are live on channel 364 on DSTV, Go TV, channel 121, and on digital, Pay on Aseda TV, on radio, 92.9. Bidide, Mr. Speaker, I'm highly grateful, Pay for your time. Mamima, lawyer Ibrahim Achi, na Memano Akwaba. Lawyer Maji, good morning.
Good morning to you. Thank you very much. I think I told producer I understand everything you're saying.
Yes, speak into the microphone for me.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Informed to say constituency to say.
Good morning, senior. Then good morning to council too. It's nice meeting you.
Thank you.
But I said, council said he has challenged with the
Twi language.
But
yes.
Okay. Council, I'll find time to teach you, and you also teach me the law.
Thank you.
The speaker, that was say, but Akwenya Modia Mami. Like always, you know, Akwenya way Akwenya, Diagro, because it's one of the biggest platforms in the country. And Mr. Speaker, I mean, say Ngure Mudie, say Remusua, and I'm a bantami.
I know Bantam. Nothing come at you for the answer saying that they were Bantam.
He said, I found cut down to me shoe cry. The speaker, I mean, Nyamiasi for our life. Namin Chair, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ghana's president, the national chairman, I'm a regional chairman, Nana Toku, and the entire executives. Andra, we were present at a vet, no. Abraya Vete, Yura Amako Fibua, the president's nominee, who is going to take care of lands and natural resources ministry. And I will share Andra the display of maturity, the display of practical experience. We share blueprint, even on core ministry, you crowd spelling out, looking at applause coming from all angles, you know. He himself is going to deliver. Oh, yeah, Babuano, Ghana Babuano, President himself bet me, and to share quality or display no just Andrana. It tells you say he's ready for the job. And Ocean Koma Yebedi today, we share gold board no. Now Ocean Dran Amabua, Yuri Amabua, Ninsema Okayana. What is say resetting agenda no, and your fluke in a idea a one linkage, and it's going to also boost a small scale miners locally. You know, I'm coming from a constituency, a small scale mining, a mining area.
Yeah.
But many a time, you know, the perception out there and say, yeah, those into small scale mining, no, evil, sense, even though challenges were sense, no, but if it is well regulated, if the person who is into the small scale mining, no, the miner, you know, who say he is being protected legally by the state, they will comply and do what is expected of them. And in return, no, Ghana is going to end. I was listening to Prof, and I was shocked, you know. Last time I was reading something I came across, say Ghana loses close to $2 billion annually because of smuggling of gold to outside. And she say, gold border. We are going to solve that one, if not to the optimum. Near save even $1 billion a year. Once Ghana is going for
3 billion.
3 billion. And we are losing just on gold. Kokombai. So Ghana, we have a lot to do. It's the reason why Ghana for him said the only hope left near His Excellency John Dramani Mahama for now. And he has shown leadership. And he's going to reset the economy to benefit all of us. Mr. Speaker, my constituents, almost glue our shares. The numbers are na me fa kwanya iso share wasam mfi east bia titru ni asasura teteto kwa mo search mo tosumi no wasam mfi na nanu atran konwa nyina me ma me ya oban ma na ye ma ye nyina won so ya akọ tetete ni nua ni mpon ono ani nua one mother one father wasamawura okwakura na nansa kokroko So Speaker, you've been 1 week coming 7th of next month.
Okay.
She my me constituency executive area chairman Nana Kofi Atochi and the entire party leadership. Mr. Speaker.
Better say Arabo MP. 25 minutes after 8. Go for Bob.
Yeah, Kwame Jusu.
That's the same.
Nyamia Domarakwa Kwame.
Yeah, fine.
Nyamia Domarakwa. Ayi. Orama Kofi Kwame obedi president.
Obedi president.
Mark it on the wall. Yes. When the president one she obey vice president. And I say the vice president seat, no, and the presidential seat, no, Kwame, obey kopa ba kwansa no.
Okay. Amen.
Yesterday, me hu nipa oye soba obia onya aka kabensem realizing the mistakes obu ade we straightforward Kwame uhunu aduma obabe emra assembly parliament vetting ase Kwame afenyo market emia otiem yi che oru amabua made a statement during the election and are not done preaching now to say Adiana Okaino. It was wrong.
Kessben.
And it amounted to the defeat of NPP. What's so me pacho? Kwame. How many politicians in the Nippon public committee has had? What's me pacho? Sankoya mo fan chame. Yesterday I was watching, I told them, you said this man will be a president one day. Kwame. That is how it's supposed to be. Shasa obi akwaka se wo why kwa obi oya ranking member.
Yeah.
Our roads and highway ranking member for 8 good years contract biya aban be sign dia ko ba bibia no the person is aware of it, honorable. And you have done a book, a whole book for about 500 and something pages. You said that you have done over 11,000 roads. Kilometers of roads. Then, nipa na appear before you vetting committee, or is telling you that it is not 11,000, it's 637. Instead of challenge, na kache nipa ne say, until say, on the data beba, ebeye sadi. Kwame won pene emeye endorse no. Say majority for na be endorse na. More minority for the William free until so be provide data. Because the person is not a ranking member or gender. When you're ranking member of trade and industry, and as a tourism, when you're ranking member of roads and highway, it is why your agenda DNS or ye.
You must correct it.
Yes, after no market on man also kakra. We might go to America. Many sano Kwame, you see, as I say, you shape you know. Because Nanado Danko Kufadomo 68 me a year, you fair say. Minority in 1996 no. And two more years in the mind people win election 2000. I'm telling you, like if they had been to parliament in 1992, and I'm quite said to be a 96 or my win election. Share who are parliament as a majority leader. We are made to understand, say, most of parliamentarians, some ebe my statement. Sometimes they have to write it to their leader. Now the leader will go through to make sure, say, at the end of the day, won't be good anymore.
Yes.
We create a problem for my party because two political parties already Ghana money now. Be a constitution say you cannot set this party into disrepute, public ridicule. You understand? Yeah. And we take it now to call parliament. Over parliament, Obi say, me use 60 ministers. And the year good. Nipana make appointment. It is up to going into 62 ministers. Then majority leader, you are telling Nipana also be use 60 ministers. They say, Masa, kona.
Kopacha
ne Kubi ka ho na anu se aduma na eden wuntimi nko je fe say that 60 ministers no wuntimi fa nya aduma Kwame
the majority leader is the one advising the
government as I say ya Kwame me uti amenka bi de bia say President Kofo made a mistake or realizing the mistake and or correct it ya na say kan manya politically it doesn't make sense because your flag bearer is saying that member come the 50 ministers
yes, Appiah was proposing 50.
Yes, 50 ministers. So what are you saying? You are putting pressure on the government to maintain e-levy. You as a minority leader. What the pressure see? I used to say, maintaining e-levy. Meanwhile, your flag bearer said that me maintain e-levy. What kind of leadership is this? Masa man also kakra. I'm not done private travel. You fought a man to apologize.
All right, then thank you.
Please. I
was coming to
cancel. Before you come to cancel, just a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Don't worry. You are in charge of your opinion.
Exactly. Cancel is here.
No, yes. Before you come to cancel, no.
On behalf of the party.
Before you come to cancel, no.
Meet you.
Senior, Jumani na why just say clear and critical observation now. You know, Honorable Appiah, I said it here. Maybe one time say. Or can say even 11 year a buy man in one.
Yeah.
But you about Umia was saying, say, or buy you scrap it, Obichem. In a 70 year, 60 year President Mahama, yeah, 5. Or also see him for 50. Until I said it, say, you're a Fenya marking, to me, if you MPP move. He is a pivot in terms of the MPP, Omoye. So it tells you, say, Yanto Obama Mahama, and MPP, come over that.
So Sana will put in contact.
No. Now you are appointed 60. President Mahama has assured the people. Come on in and he's going to stick to that. The 60 is going to work. We members of parliament, NDC family, we are with JM and we will support him. Even though I would have loved say in campaign phobia and Amesumeko baby. But Ambassador Yenye 60, to achieve the reset agenda, we are good to go. But you are saying say on farm more. Yoruba was coming with 50.
Yes, proposal.
It tells you say na entro. E-levy, you say a year tax is good. Anywhere in the world, no, develop it based on taxation. but Ghana ha ye jiska de dey no, that's the challenge. Inti ye see a bar E11, you know, you be ye few. Most be ye few. And as the minority leader, telling us to say E11, you know, and you see a chemudia, it means here about me abaya and can't change because bet me aya and cananado ye. And sana here about me collection 2024. It tells you say Ghana for say MPP as a party, you know, almost deceptive people. MPP as a party, you know, they are much into rhetorics than doing the needful. It means that you better seniority. These are the people we need. That's why we always say this platform, you can't joke with it. More young politicians, you know, say we are leading people. I'm not sitting here as Honorable Nico, me, I'm in my own capacity. I'm representing my party and my constituents who has given this platform to serve them. So me idea be a me say me so me man for. Yes, my bay MP, no me idea me pay. When you say council will come in and we start from.
He will agree with you on some point. Let me come to you. I mean, I'll take your initial reactions on some of the things you said. Yes, and then we'll come to the substantive ones.
Yes, I'm particularly concerned about the emotions that he has just shown.
Oh, you feel
especially
emotions?
Yes, especially when he made reference to the minority leader, Appiah Maakye. Appiah Maakye is my colleague lecturer at the UPSA as well. I know him quite well. And it doesn't mean what he said is almost amount to what Bawumia would have done. It just, I mean, you are just stretching it too much. What he said, look at the context in which Appiah Maakye said, you may exist 60 if that is what will work for you. You look at the context of demonstrations across the country. People are saying that the expectation is not met. For example, Bole Bamboy consistency, the way the president is coming from, we have seen massive demonstrations. We have seen when you go to Facebook, you hear people say they are ready with tires to burn because of the way we campaign. And Appiah Maakye is also very privileged to be among the MPs. Already, I agree the Constitution put constraint on the president. It says majority of parliamentarians must come from parliament.
Ministers.
Ministers must come from parliament. Again, it called for regional balance.
Yes.
Aside the regional balance, we now also have affirmative action that require the president to appoint, I think 35 or 30% of ministers must also be female in compliance with the Affirmation Active Bill. So over there, I sympathize with the president that he has been constrained by law.
You cannot be constrained by law because, I mean, presumably, you are very much aware of the laws, the existing laws, before you made the promise. So the excuse of you being constrained with the provisions of the law does not come in at this point. I mean,
no, what we are saying
is that for the fact that he's been there before as former president, then probably Ghanaians can say he knew what he was saying.
So let me still express it. So my opinion, when I said that he's constrained by law as to how many people he can appoint and the combination of how he can appoint, given the number of qualified individuals who could become ministers. This is the reason why you might say, like for example, look at Northern Region. You see people like Honorable Sohini and Co who are well qualified. But then, even though he has taken 4 from Northern Region, he can't take more because other areas will be protesting. Just as Savannah Region saying that only 1 person is appointed in the form of John Jinapo. And the Northeast Region, 1 person. Perhaps he could have gone for more. So with looking at it that way, in fact, he's constrained.
But why should that be a challenge? We're a country of over 30 or 32 million. I mean, why should we go beyond 60 million?
No. I am not endorsing the idea that we should go 60. In fact, I want us to go as low as 25.
I see.
If you look at countries like Great Britain, it's about 62 million people over there as compared to our 30 million. The secretaries of states in the United Kingdom is not more than 20. In fact, when you hear ministers, they are actually like deputy ministers or even much lower than that. So their secretary of state is quite lower than that. In fact, I prefer us to go lower. But it's just a Ghanaian thing. Yes, it's true that Bawumia was proposing 50. And I wish we could, as I said, I wish we could go lower. But Appiah Maakye was more or less expressing his sympathy. I mean, looking at how his colleagues are fighting each other behind
yes,
the
but
scene.
The concerns,
with the president saying that I have received.
Council, the concerns are that was that sympathy really necessary, especially when the former vice president and then the then presidential candidate had promised 50. So the contest is that if your party had won power, would you have at least employed Dr. Bawumia to go beyond the 50?
No, it was necessary because the president himself have said that he has received a lot of CVs from people. So the president himself was telling us that I'm struggling because my own members have given me more applications. I mean, the minority leader, being human as he is, can only express sympathy and say, if you are really struggling from your own math, you say you have received more CV, you may do so. The minority will not stand on your way. That was all that he was saying. But you cannot connote that to mean that if Bawumia had come, the minority leader would have influenced him to go more than 50 as promised by our manifesto. No, the two of them are mutually exclusive. You cannot just, what kind of logic is that? Because the minority leader wouldn't have been the appointing officer. It would have been Bawumia who is the appointing officer.
He would still have been a strong, stakeholder in the entire thing.
He's still a stakeholder, even though he's minority under John Mahama administration. He's still a stakeholder as a minority leader. So I see it to be more or less expressing his sympathy. I sympathize with the president, as I've already said. He's having a very difficult job to satisfy all angles of people. Even honorable here, I believe you would have loved to be appointed. And I believe you are qualified to be appointed. But then the president is constrained. As to where you are coming from, how many people can he use? You could see other regions. For example, Northeast region are saying that, why are you giving us only one minister? And as I said, the constitution is where the problem is. I dreamt on the day whereby we just appoint the best available people. It doesn't matter if the system is coming from Volta region or Ashanti region, provided they are capable of doing the job. I dreamt on the day where the president can even appoint members of the opposition into his government. It is not strange. Again, if you look elsewhere, like the United States, when Obama came to power, what did he do? When what did they call him? You remember Robert Gates?
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
When Obama came to power, he made George Bush, defense minister to continue for one term. As a defense minister of an opposition party, he had just defeated. There's nothing strange about that. All that you needed to do was to call him, have conversation with him. If you share your vision, why not? He is a citizen. So again, it's very troubling when you see members of the opposition protesting against the supposed appointment of somebody. They say he was involved in the closure of Radio Gold. Can you see how, in that particular context, can you see why this winner takes it all is not actually a good way forward?
Very well.
And this is the opportunity presented to John Mahama. It's an opportunity for him to reform the constitution.
No, he's very short at you. The reason being I will not take off. You've always been in the system.
As an academic,
when did you start advocating
as an academic, and as somebody who has studied, as an academic and as somebody who have always studied comparative constitutional law of both United States and Great Britain, I believe our constitution is seriously flawed. If we do not reform it, one day we may not have a republic.
You have a good opportunity to make suggestions to the committee. There's a committee in place now to review certain provisions of the constitution.
Yes. Especially the one we both agree. For example, the discrimination imposed on dual nationals. Adamu Sakanen being my very, very good friend. It is because of this issue that led to his death. Depression over the years. And you can see at same Central, those sides, they are not needed. People only put it to protect people like Honorable because they think foreign people who are coming from foreign countries may have more money. But this is an opportunity for us to invite people who are abroad, especially as IA is becoming prominent. We may not have the initial capital to invest as China and the United States is doing. But do you know one interesting thing we have? We have Ghanaians who are giving children abroad. We could use some of these things to entice them to bring those technology home. Okay. And I think John Mahama has an opportunity to do it.
You'll be in Wale.
Yes.
You'll be sponsoring the party once in opposition.
Yes.
The person who intend coming to contest in the constituency will sit elsewhere. He doesn't even know how the people live. He doesn't even understand the party. He doesn't understand how to even govern the culture. And he will just come with his money to come and seat you. Then who will be taking care of the party when you are in opposition?
So this is the trouble we have as Ghanaians.
You are wasting your time.
Very well.
Listen.
Very well.
Cancel. Trouble we have as Ghanaians.
Cancel.
They see appointment as an avenue to spend.
No. It's not an avenue.
Yes.
Sell your people.
He is speaking in terms of, how people, diasporas will come back and sit there.
Exactly. You need to come and support the party. You need to. It's giving an appointment.
So that is enough to discriminate against them as citizens.
Sorry.
Very well.
Do you know how much money remittance they send to Ghana?
Very well. It is only 42 minutes after 8. I had Kessben 92.9. Oh, here live and what Kessben TV and after that TV now. Kwame Asantiti now we're here. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Let it be known to Honorable Nicholas and Bob Ziga that you don't allow your opponent to do your selection of players or team for you unless you are not a smart coach. What Honorable Afenyo Maakye said could also be a trap. It was a smart way to set Mahama and the NDC up. Probably has some faster messages. Should have been to for 10 minutes on the gold board.
Good.
Any legal team and finance minister put it together. Say, the law legislation you be establish gold board. No, one more formulating in that. But for 10 minutes now.
Joe, Mr. Speaker, Miss Anda was CBM. Now, me cousin chair for Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
My constituency, people have glued to their TV near there. Almost share Kessben and open me chair. Body of phone, women organizer, for BBA, Mr. Speaker. Abrasian, so Filippo, all the members there. Mr. Speaker, who share gold body on Koma? And Rebecca said the resetting agenda is on course. Now me tie councillor see a boy area John Dramani Mahama na Abaso. We need to applaud him for the bold decision taken. If council say no suggest even 25 there, then John Mahama has done very well. Because in the history of Ghana, I will share the Fourth Republic, a bind buyer, or started first term with 60 ministers. Only JDM in Hawaii is the reason why it's here. Baby Abekobiano, you see GM, we trust you, hope with me deliver. Aside that, we members of parliament here Tanechi, because it shouldn't always about quantity. Nanado displayed quantity, but when display quality. If 25, as suggested by council, the 60 can deliver. In Tinkana leadership, you may pay free area Fenya Markins on chain. Niera Mahama Ria Wakasa. Yera Mahama.
As a man can choose a bit me a trap.
Now, say, you're John Dramani Mahama. Me, you're a Fenya Maakye Kaino. Missumi Hunu that way. Now, trap with their trap on Ketenkete. And to me, you're John Dramani Mahama and Chi NDC. Because if all this advice, I can see on the man and Ado. Now, I'm the boy, I'm party restructuring. No, on himself, over here, you're John Dramani Mahama, City of Wakano. She public forum, I mean, him say, Yebekon, Yebedi Komono. This is the man who is opening up. Say idea ne baako fotimu. You are, I'm a journalist. Look at the level of experience, the level of information. We need to bring everybody on board. Let's judge, let's deliberate, consensus building to move this country from Bibi Ananado Danko Kufuado Ejaye. Mr. Speaker, Bedin Komandra, I was another network. Now you did talk home come now to administration. A board member who was on the program with me, said, sir, even the total debt now, he couldn't disclose it on that program. And Omo the Obi by investor, it took Nanado 8 years. And son almost all my investor no are ready. So as John Mama is taking, over on struggle in. So we are also going to look at that investment. I'm just saying they say, am I not saying MPP are buying? We have to create, let the people know say, or my no say no, omu jayeka. Into your John Dramani Mahama Babe fixi.
As a card, they are buying the
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
As a politician, in a Ghana and behind him say, Oko borrow ska from bank, or the bear development, or bear projects. Now when you know if you are a car, but being an accounting student, you know, own him say own heritage everywhere be we have liability and what assets. Into a kaya there, but a cano now unya adia or the betu cano. Is the reason why when we were going, we left Esla energy sector levy to take care of a year. You just get found. Oh share all the funding. You just oil foot. You added to oil foot. It was atuabo gas. You had to buy it. These are who call sinking fund. We left money there. Who call a single farm. We left money there. Oh baby, I said the what is it? Absorbers. That bit me absorb or mine. When we were going, yenja or mine say, ye the can't see Janisa, banana do kono, a cow with the jano. When you go to Cocoa Board, where Jayaka, Okoto, where Jayaka, moving this country total debt from 120 billion Ghana city, no more say a car, you will be done to close to 800 billion Ghana city. Mr. Speaker, what can we pride ourselves of as a people? Because here are Mahama Kono, not even just atuabo gas. Every year, be a say my 1 billion a year Ghana city.
Now about good board.
It's me about good board no a laudable idea because as me can know a earlier stages they say every year Ghana see to me lose $2 billion sir and another corporate 3 billion yeah. What we do to solve that problem? What we can do is to constitute and establish this board, a gold board. And Mr. Speaker. Good won komo na endra yera honorable Amaboa who share ideas or the bar border. A senior was saying something. Na senior, you're a politician now bet me idea. First you have to be humble. You need to be humble yourself as a person and you have to be ready to learn. And also a team player. He even acknowledged the staff for no Mukoye Jumano or ministry or say he came with even some of the experts. Now, Oba and before born he had time with them, brief, and now all Casano. He was just speaking from a layman perspective, but speaking as a minister who is ready to deliver. Now, God born the idea here. Now, looking at the members, no more so on my family now. Say, yeah, dear, who share your what
Sami Jenfi.
You're Sami Jenfi. I mean, who share the chairman of ARB. That's the only rural bank in the country, as I always say. I'm a former rural bank. Dr. Tony Obin, he's the board chairman of Amefimo Rural Bank, and he's part of the board.
Okay. Of
the board, who has also been a former, he's worked under Mineral Commission before, so he knows the in and out of gold and seminal. Now, about boy, Emma Ocean Swa, this year, John Dramani Mahama, and his swadi who say a small scale miners. Yes, sure, Mobono, and your fluke. Mr. Speaker, small scale mining, a challenge is womu. Say, baby, why ye Juma in Shobe say, baby, why ye Juma, Sasibe say, say me use me constituency as a case study. Sa case, and also, because when you go to Japan, they are so stretcher. They don't work in the bellies of the rivers. Omo tutu, omo a boreholes, omo di Juma. Yet the any rock mining. But Osha. They bring all of us together, say, yes, sensor, say, which is not like that. A Juman is somewhere, if it is well regulated, they can easily reclaim a land, and looking at the employment, equity for the teeming unemployed youth now, Mr. Speaker, you have no idea. If it is well regulated, work away 100 meters away from the mainstream. Now, we need Juma. Let me see for yeah, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say. Now God board is going to serve us as a cocoa board. See here to cocoa no. A buy now or even best support to a small scale miners no. While regulation you decentralize no.
I hope the way do home among just indicated loans some of the better good.
Mr. Speaker.
If you go to Nikan Kosia, Enko Jisikasi, the Babeto goat.
Mr. Speaker, many man who cinema about Mario syndicated no. Ye banaya regulate. So open licenses are the municipal assembly no. There'll be various licensing unita. Ombema licenses no akoyi wejuma bra Vanguard ne Calm Life near DBA me how na ejuma ba. Mr. Speaker, syndicated loan cancel is here. When the syndicated loan, I mean beye evoma on mine. Syndicated loan has always been a blessing. Do you know why? When we go for the money in dollars, what the baha it shows up the currency in the country. A man a cedi a dollar galloping fluctuation no enye ejuma until say MPP buy 2017 to 2023, Cocoa Board call for syndicated loan. No, beto cocoa now. Even though they don't get a targeted beans to buy, so no. At the end of the day, near boka. And then I want to say syndicated loan a car. It's never a car. Syndicated loan has always been a profit to this country. And at the era John Dramani Mahama a unique, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Ghana has solely relied on cocoa. Previously, when we are on council, now you can talk of timber. Exporting of what timber, gold, manganese, bauxite, and cocoa. But now, Ghana discover oil no crampo no. You be into me in a larger quantity, but though it is good. Okay. When we are able to add gold no so bar, mean that Ghana is not solely going to rely on cocoa. As we speak, Ghana major export CCI in terms of government when cocoa.
Right.
In a cocoa board, no sooner baby as the speaker, baby almost no. So this is a laudable way. Ye the say, ye may say, ye be now at the end of the day no ambwa. But having President Mahama, having Yerama Kufibua, having Yerato Forcing, having the entire NDC leadership now at me say where we are going to make history. And idea when submit me a boy. The Galam saying 7 years small scale mining major way no.
This one says that good morning, Mr. Speaker. Let another friend Ponziga know that Maakye is only tricking President Mahama at the NDC.
And he can't trick him with this.
And this one
says, trick Jam with this.
This one says that good morning, Speaker. Just imagine the kind of explanation given by the law lecturer. We are talking about tricking, sticking to a promise made by the president to his people, and the lecturer is trying to tell us that what he should keep the explanation to himself and the NPP. Thank you for your message. This one says that good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please let all be together as one nation to develop our country, Ghana, and stop the kind of politics we have practiced over the years. This is because everything we do in opposition is right, and when we get the power, we maltreat the people. Ghanaians must rise up, and we must think about the next generation of Ghanaians. Thank you. You didn't add your name. This one says that good morning, Speaker. Mahama can still continue with the 60 ministers and change any of them if the person tend to go wayward about what he has asked them to do. He has promised the Ghanaian people to deliver, and nothing more, nothing less. If you misbehave, the president will fire you the most way. Thank you for your message. This one says that good morning. My name is Vivian from Wasay Krupon. Please ask Honorable Nicholas Amankwa this question for me. Why is it that you will never see any of the Wasa MPs speaking in Parliament, but you will see them on television stations having unnecessary debate?
I've been doing. I've been doing.
There's a lot of videos out there.
But the question is that the conversations we have here is not unnecessary. So we must understand.
It's part of
it is part of nation building.
It's an extension of parliament.
Yes.
If you want to understand that context. This one says that good morning. Please tell the MP he is lying about the rock mining at Japa. Thank you, Paul. Sent in that one from Tapa. Paul, thank you. Now the Ghanaian people will take you on. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. I'm Gloria, watching you from Kaswa. Kindly greet Honorable Nicholas Amankwa for me. He's a solid senior at AMES. God bless him. He's done well for his people as a member of parliament. Very young and delivering on his mandate. Good morning, Speaker. My name is Energy Rich Way. NDC people are not good. They are off to grill us of our properties. They must do the best for this country. Mamin Kaiwe, good morning, Speaker. Please, the leaders are using some an unlawful way to dupe some of us for almost 6 months, which is against the law. I don't get what you are saying. One for contest in our May. But I mean, kind last one we now remember an African post. Good morning, Speaker. I'm Amos from Takwa. Minority leader want President Mahama to go for more ministers or use more ministers so that they can set a trap for him for power in 2028. But the NDC is beyond that. The NPP man should stop behaving as if we are in a campaign season. When did John Mahama say he was struggling about his own appointment? They should not deceive themselves. And John Mahama has never said he has received a lot of CVs. The lawyer is absolutely not saying something that is true. He said it. Nana from Bisiase, Nana, you sent in that one. But your president, Nankasaka, so we're receiving a lot of CVs. This one says that, good morning, Speaker. In fact, you are doing a great job for Mother Ghana. Good morning to yourself and your panelists. Nana, you sent in that one. Thank you for messaging. Now, Mamintio, Ewo, Gold Board, no, Namemra Council, so that Yanko.
Yes, Kwame, quickly, my main car, IBCC, fast pass. Or Tetlete, Okuamwa, even say Okuamwa, yes, the other time I met a certain member of parliament. Now, Obona Basopa, I'm so honest with you, Ufuruku member of parliament. Honorable Edu, yes, Honorable Edu, yes, Michael Edu. But now, Obona Basopa, the we are no Kapapana. I was shocked. And I'm so wow, that's fantastic. So I'm say eti okayana madre besi honorable so. And I'm say and you say hini mpoi yemfani ni agro na esese atu ebo ase na yekohwe ne nwuma awaye na you started the babonte because I'm say boy ya cash ebo ase dodo. You understand all this stuff.
That was a champion the cause for us.
Yes, I will do that. Now ayi Kwame. Yes. Coco. Yeah, now I can't watch me. Just it, yeah. In the transition team, I'm aware. I'm told that Honorable Septepe told President Mahama and the transition team that Honorable Boyinedu did a very good job there. But at the cocoa sector. Yes, at the cocoa sector. But if you don't understand situations, normal how it does happen, maybe I won't say papa. Then you be ending up. I've been displaying your ignorance and all that. Honorable apology.
No.
Yes, let's put that on record that Honorable Setepe in the transition team made the whole Ghana
in which context?
In the context of how they were able to fight some diseases na Aba, you understand?
And they affected Cocoa.
And it is not only Ghana. It was across West Africa. So Côte d'Ivoire, Accra, and now we are the largest cocoa producer in the country, in the world. You know, almost deficit. Sorry, not deficit. Almost declining. But to show you decline, you know how Honorable Boy Edu was able to fight. You know, decline, was lower than the average. You understand? So it tells you say how a person you chase you almost close to the gap. No, had it not been the person nearby, you know. Ebia and cannot beat me reach where we all don't say get me adequate. But the transition team, Honorable Setepe made that you know, and I'm happy say Sadana. But at fact, we also told that the cocoa beans are sending the Kwabuchino $600 million will be in the country in the shortest possible time in the next month or yeah. So Randy Abe will be one of the luckiest. About Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Cocoa Board, and syndicated a year of Kokoji, so about $300 million.
Our friend Randy Abbey.
Yeah, $300 million will also come. And yeah, Kwame, media, the honor bouquet. Kwame, yeah, a queer Miminya cocoa, but the name in the same word JHS now, more SS now. Namely, said Ghana is the largest cocoa producer in the world. Anna, we are being overtaken by the Côte d'Ivoirians. And I have requested me I hold you on to that number one sport up to now. Today, you go to Singapore are chasing this country when it comes to cocoa produce. You understand? Cocoa production. Nigeria are closing the gap. You get me? Ivory Coast now or that first now, yeah, that second. We are not making any effort to close the gap.
And Brazil too is there.
And the Brazil too is there.
Yeah.
So all what I'm looking forward to see is we will get somebody who is going to close the gap. And the gap, this year, close to gap no corner, will be able to overtake them. That should be our mindset. You say the Galamsey issue near the BBC documentary. Also, me say the hectares of cocoa farms are Kwame. And on our course, you say you declining in terms of normal produce. Yes, a man in Yakunubi. Say because of the Galamsey issue, I can't answer me Kwame. And no cocoa farmer would name the beer Galamsey for being invaded. I feel no one can say tons and for and Tom Fania Galamsey because yet to be Chagu Abra when away. Obeko hun tokwa ko ho court sa your court to see the enemy etibe nenkofo na kasa kele omu cocoa farms to do Galamsey. So we need somebody that can help the finance ministry, the Ghana Cocoa Board led by Ora Radiabe and his people and your friend say
the Greek minister.
Yeah, Greek minister. Koyon befa so a e be make sure say the cocoa no we shouldn't be in the way the cocoa no yebeka say Ghana we are doing good and I say yeah adianko a ye make sure say our first port ani enim no ye be chase sade na ya baba ka afediem subiem Kwame the Chinese people the first time omu di cocoa kwa abuchi no omu kowe omu cocoa 37,000 137,000 metric tons for a pilot a year or more. And they want to tell the Belgians that a moment to Ghana cocoa because ye cocoa no ye because of Galamsey nitino a neuro asem. You get me? You know be a man no Ghana, but it's all over the place. You Google, you realize it is all over the place. Chinese people know more the alpha cocoa. I'm the fan of Ghana how we could run. Come invent machines. Edibo cocoa.
Yeah, they had
now. What are we doing?
Nothing. We are not doing anything.
So we are looking forward to say, Diana na mi more JHS, no more SS. Now I see a Piafodi cocoa talo almost some na ye dia Bible papa na bitwitwa bibidi entuma go tutu omonsa sabe producer cocoa ne pabu kra na digu ade so a se nipa na koye number 2 or 3 ewo washroom wa ba wa horo ne nsa ne ka ho ni na no kwa be bejai SSC ekoye num and ye invent machine wo fufu a we need to get a machine a betimi abo cocoa. We are looking forward to see that. Okay. Kwame, we are looking forward to see say SSC Ghana comforting foreign about Ghana. What we say this country is the second largest cocoa producer in the world. Kwame, SSC chocolate boba from SSC chocolate and for the baby at the back for be Golden Tree chocolate here in Ghana ya. Ana yetimin to Kwame chocolate drinks yetimin to me take alcohol, but I'm told say the chocolate a cocoa alcohol I omudi alcohol ne bo kosoro. Why? Kwame, in this country at least Jacob Bechebilam tene kind went to me anya. You bet me I that policy say papa this kind no are practicable or feasible. Say every last week of every biano month biano Friday every Friday of every month. I say and primary school biano child biano kwa wotiminya cocoa wotiminya ebia chocolate or chocolate drink esese ma wiase hu se yai ne ye cocoa no esese didi gugu ya furu so manko ye enkofo ten kase ya ne asa ne dibi be kwa aboti akwa be de akọ de make na what say esese na that feeling ukoko dibuwa Abidjan kwa be omo airport utu ono ma masadaye artificial fragrance beer I say smell it like cocoa butter cocoa akase cocoa cream there and cocoa et you see airport one ye beer in ma we see from now what is cocoa nka ehwam e man kofo who say ye see be beer ye cocoa for I first a country yenya sa no ma no ye make what say yeah na etime mo
George is sending this one from Nungwa Estate. Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Keep it up the good work you are doing. Thank you. George, may I say good morning, Speaker. Please, the NDC have appointed someone who doesn't have any agricultural background, but yet appointed as CEO of Cocoa Board. Why? NDC. Dibi Mamin Dibi. You sent in that one. Dibi Mamin Dibi, may I say. Speaker, good morning. Honorable Nicholas is not explaining syndicated loan very well. Syndicated loan is the forward sales of the country's product in terms of cocoa, which did not help the farmers. Meet cocoa farmers coming 13th March at Kumasi to discuss that. Okay, Mate, but that's the syndicated loan. What's up now, Ken? Good morning, Speaker. Good work done. Please, this message is for the new health minister. He should post the 2020 referral nurses as soon as possible. God bless you and your team. But that's a message. Good morning, Speaker. Please ask Honorable Nicholas that when are they continuing the light at Wasa Beposo and the areas Aka? At the more year light to Beposo. Honorable Beya normal. Good morning, Speaker. I'm Officer Rogi, watching you live from Nsawam. Keep up with the good work for Mother Ghana. God bless you. Let me come to Council. Council, you speak on the gold board for
yes.
me, and then we'll wrap it up.
Thank you very much. Let me make something very clear, and I think I'm saying that in reference to Honorable and some of our audience. MPP as a party, or the leadership of myself sitting here, we are not just in politics simply because we want MPP to be winning power. We're in politics because we want Ghana to succeed. We want the Ghanaian to succeed. So, and Ghanaians have spoken. We have gone to the election. We have presented our vision to Ghanaians. John Mahama and his members presented their vision. Ghanaians have accepted John Mahama's vision. We don't have problem with that. We want John Mahama to succeed. Nobody in MPP is in the business of tricking him so that they might not be able to perform, so that we might come to power. To what ends? To what benefits? No. The Ghanaian succeeding is the most important thing. So for the next 4 years, our prayer is for John Mahama and the NDC to succeed in expanding the national cake.
Amen.
So that most of the people they will get
the success of President Mahama.
But having said that, let me.
I'm saying that one would think that what you are saying with the success of John Mahama and the NDC, then what it means is that the NPP will stay in opposition for
it doesn't matter. But the point I'm trying to make is that the point I'm trying to make is that the success of NDC and the winning of MPP in the next election, they are not mutually exclusive.
Then it is spiritual.
The NDC might succeed in expanding the national cake and in catering for the welfare of the Ghanaian. It doesn't mean that MPP might not come back to present a much superior vision for the country, of which case the electorals are the appointers, and they could still appoint MPP. So they succeeded and we winning the next election. They are not mutually exclusive. So our prayer is for them to succeed. And as we said, we are going to be an opposition party that would offer constructive criticism and would advise where necessary, because the national interest is paramount, regardless of political interests. So that's what we are going to do. So when you hear the minority leader saying something, it is not a trick. He is trying to offer and help. And those of us who will be there are offering help.
You're always welcome.
Having said that, so in that particular context, there's nothing wrong with you setting up a board. If you believe that will address smuggling, you have the mandate to govern. You have every mandate, provided it is not a tool to do whatever nefarious thing. If it will lead to reducing smuggling and then expanding the national cake, I don't have problem with it. And having said that, I will just tie it to the Cocoa Board story. I have problem the way we have always exported things. And it is not just me. A lot of Africans have always expressed it. If you look at Switzerland doesn't produce cocoa. But they benefit from cocoa more than we do. Because we just produce, send a raw state to them. And then they will add value and they make much more for us. Why do we do that? It's almost like a collective stupidity on the part of every Ghanaian that we just take the raw stage, dump it to countries such as Switzerland, they will add value and they will make more from it. So I dream a day that the Ghanaian will say that we are no longer going to even send these products on their raw state over there. Take the Ghana cocoa Ghana chocolate for example. It's very popular in Britain. Anytime you are going to Britain, they say, oh, bring chocolate from Ghana. And when you go to the market, do you know that it's seriously shortage in the market? That even those selling there, they find it difficult to source it. Why is it difficult? If that product is popular, that, for example, I used to buy it somewhere 70 to 80. Now a box is almost 350. Why can't we add value such as that and sell it abroad? Why do we have to go and dump our cocoa beans over there? So, and I like his reportage. You are more or less subtle criticize how we manage the Ghana Cocoa Board and Co. And I'm glad that Setepa himself have seen some of the good things MPP does. And this is why I'm calling you constructive criticism is very important. It's not always good to criticize your opponent simply because you have the opportunity to go after him. We can do so constructively. And as you said, my understanding was that the syndicated loan was not needed. And that the Cocoa Board himself said they were able to do their own internal arrangement within the domestic level to be able to buy the cocoa without resorting to borrowing. That was my understanding at that time. But if somebody makes that decision based on business need, is there something to criticize, or simply because all the time we need foreign exchange, we must always go for them? And you can see that at that time, the pressure on foreign exchange had been reduced when we reintroduced the Gold for Oil program, of which I believe the NDC do not just discard it. Look at it critically to see whether there's a merit in this. If there's merit in it, I think it can reduce the pressure in our foreign exchange program. Okay. And we don't necessarily just have to criticize everything. So my advice to the NDC is, when we offer advice and criticism, do not be skeptical. Even though we have lost the election, at the end of the day, we are still citizens, and we want to be responsible citizens. That would be my advice to you.
Thank you.
We want to be responsible citizens. Dr. Ibrahim, lawyer, speaking at 14 after 9.
Speaker.
Council, me more 2 to 3 minutes. You wrap it up now. Sorry, me time my son, sir.
2 to 3 minutes.
That's not all wrap here. And now worry about.
No, we don't know about that. I cancel it.
I don't cancel. I will do man easy.
And I make say, cancel people like your stature or the way you think. I mean, like person who thinks about the country more than a party. Nanado doesn't normally like people like using people like you in his administration. So I don't think Speaker Council was occupying any office under Nanado's administration.
No, I'm a lecturer.
You're a lecturer with UPS.
I enjoy lecturing.
You're a lecturer, but you could have still been.
I'm a lecturer.
So Council, you've done well, and I mean your suggestions were thought of. So you look at it, Council. Mr. Speaker Ziga. On Saturday we were discussing what is it, gold board, and my reason is we've always relied on a cocoa board, so bringing on a gold board no, a bit me aboa ma ya save smuggling of our gold. Na sikana ye lusu ni yetumi ayede a save aboa o man, and I made the cocoa board bem. Me can cocoa board asema. I'm very much careful, you know. The former Kokobo CEO comes from my constituency.
Okay.
So he's like a father, even though
he's your former MP as well.
Former MP as well. And so he's coming from my constituency.
Your constituency.
And
okay.
So talking about even Kokobo, no.
Yes.
A challenge, man.
There is a conflict of interest discussion.
But on him
say, I know Randy Abbey is competent.
No, on him say Naziga can say one of us say Kokobo da yard or yard. The Ziga was smart, so because in fighting a pest no
disease
no. But cocoa board as a unit, and it's Nanado administration, not Honorable Joseph Edu as a person. Administration, cocoa board. A cow de a year or many cocoa. Look at our cocoa roast. Look at even pricing. And then cocoa farming is not attractive, wasn't attractive under Nanado administration because look at how much was given to the cocoa farmer. A bag of cocoa, as Honorable Erikopoku said, cocoa wet marketer, not Ghana, no, I said 10,000 per bag of cocoa. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was giving the cocoa farmer 65% of a year price or the fee amano nebeba. How much was Nanado giving to us? What could cocoa or wet market? Almost 10,000 Ghana city. Oh, but then you come and give Ukwenino 3,001. They came to collapse the cocoa sector. In the history of Ghana, Mr. Speaker, in the history of Ghana, you know, produce buying company, that's PBC. That's the mother, company when it comes to buying of cocoa beans. And then another administration, they collapsed it. So what did they do? Go and see our cocoa roast in my constituency. A Francia to Ajukwa, the Rampon, what is it? Or Pond Valley, all our roast. You can assess them. And the cocoa roast. But when you were in office, when NDC, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in office, was some fees here benefiting? Was a Cropon Town roast? It was under cocoa roast. We started project from so through what is Appiah Kwanta to Nananko, Omobayeno. They left it there. Okay. Of which, look at air fertilizer. Under Nanado's administration, we introduced free fertilizer to the farmers. Omo beton, ekwafoni nyes campo no matter. Omo good price. Fertilizer omo trees.
Was it sustainable?
Was it
sustainable?
Oh, if we had continued power. No, why wasn't free SHS is sustainable? Free SHS is now sustainable. So why can't free distribution of fertilizer to be same? Na me can be about syndicated loan. Na me person can over reading na omo oyena nipa na offer na we say is a financing method ye kokoji multiple lenders omo mo bobo sia de ma aban no. And that has always been the practice. This time around, Cocoa Board did not go to the wet market because a cow didn't know no lender was ready to give them. You ask yourself, 2023, 2024, cocoa beans almost total okay. They couldn't buy. Farmers were crying. So, Mr. Speaker, say we are ready to serve. Somebody mentioned people so electrification, Mr. Speaker. It's the reason why MPP, but NDC, you're John Dramani Mahama, you're Jumadina, MPP bo opposition at chair. And the reason say you started 2016, we buy me 2-1 among a binary. But assurance is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Abano. Every single electrification project, you start here, you know, Mr. Speaker, you be real. Now it is my promise and it's my hope, say every single community in Memphis, no, Ibenyan Kania, Appiah 2028 election, no. And he must say every project, roads electrification, you better say you better 2-1. And Mr. Speaker, Midi Sikrano, Honorable Randy Abbey, you congratulate no. Obisu onim bibi alpha cocoa board o. You are Dr. Adofo. He was a defense minister, but not called military school that. You are a finance minister, Kojo Banredu. He was having an engineering background.
No, that's Osafo
Mafo. Engineering background, but they're one of the best finance minister. Okay. So it's about competency, and he's going to work with a team. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama knows what he's doing. He has a practical experience, and he will deliver to Ghanaians. And we are open to be criticized.
Let us say 20 of July, my very long time friend. Appiah was Metonka, Chafina, Fina Matonka. And I'll pay good morning. As you say, we say good morning. Appiah sends me that one. I'll say, good morning, Speaker. Sometimes I wonder how long Ziga has been in this country. Is he aware of our technical universities that they do human resources management, law, etc., and that KNUST has more students in the humanities than the sciences and technology for which it was established? We know our problems as a country, but we are only good at repeating them. instead of finding solutions. Appiah, thank you for message. I did free Sunyani Ediaba. I don't pay. Doc, just 30, Lord.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Let's wrap it up and then.
Thank you very much. I think the discussion has been very productive. But where I want to warn the NDC is the English people have a proverb that the sweetness of the pudding is in the eating.
Is in the eating?
Yes. The sweetness of the pudding is in the eating.
Okay.
So, by that, what I meant is you are in government. There's no need to continuously attack the MPP continuously. The best way, it's like they are still in the campaign mode. The best way to campaign is to govern and govern wisely.
Okay.
And govern competently. So this is where Ghanaians is looking into. Not MPP was like this. We are going to be like this. Just be like that.
All right.
That will be the best campaign you can give. So for me, as I said, we are rooting for you to succeed. The commentary, the commentary was working. It's not congruent. Even somebody to the extent that say, congratulate John Mahama for the speed at which he has made his appointment. Is that something to congratulate?
Oh yes.
No.
Oh yes.
Even if you're marking in Parliament, again, look. For example, in the United Kingdom, I always want to give example somewhere. Or even in Ghana. You see, when you are an opposition party, especially a major opposition party, another name for you is government in waiting. Already, these people are already there. Efenyo Maakye was able to predict who is going where. So for you to make that appointment, he was able to predict who will be going where, because you are government in waiting. This is why you have shadow ministers.
Very well.
Anybody at all could tell you that
Very true.
John Jinapo will go to energy, whilst Ablakwa will go to foreign ministry. This is not rocket science. So I want you to go ahead in actually delivering to make the Ghanaian comfortable, and they have bought into your vision. You have got the goodwill to do well. You have a command of parliament of which you can do constitutional reform. What I will urge you is, if you engage in witch hunt, you'll be distracting yourself.
All right.
And already some of you are thinking in terms of that.
Thank you,
This is why I thought we were going to talk about the Electoral Commission. We'll leave that for another day.
Yes. We'll come back to it.
Thank you.
That discussion. Lawyer Ishaq Ibrahim is a lecturer with the UPSA Law School and then a member of the NPP's
It's more
legal
patriotic than
directorate.
MPP.
There are more member of parliament for Wasam and East constituency, Nicholas Abankwa. Thank you for joining us, homeboy. I'm grateful.
I'm a regional communication officer or Berry or Yanimami ye weekendi.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
It was Takra. Yes, let's say Mumami Jai.
Okay. But our condolences to Kek Mensa, my good friend. I'm sure that's a very was you didn't come off for. Thank you, gentlemen. Numa net ne bubu anope yusu chocho shampoo, hair food, and a feni conditioner na fasisi wutrinwi no ebema wutrinwi na ni onyam no asanso ababiem ye wo chocho foot and hand cream pacho oye bema oye ba esan adwuma wo yenti onsam ayeden afei mema no mo hyehyew mo hye socks na mo yegu ho na center bem anope oyusu eye chocho foot cream a ebeyi ni nyina no e de afi ho na afei chocho hand cream no ama onsam atimi ayemre kama anope open no nyina no ne ye product nyina no de dodo mu atudi a obekosu home in the eastern region na woni chocho for edin komo afi ho eno achi no oko eye shops ahodo supermarket malls and afi pharmacies ahodo ni nyina obenya chocho products ni bi ewo ho na watimi ayusu anope for one more on 0551 815388 0551 815388 fa weni chiremo ewo fifi prat last stop ewo kaswa nyanyano main road no eso na woni offer wosen eni enkomo obejo so na prostate no eho hawo bia no watuni nyina no ase ede amount for 0553 800678 0553 800678 woni obatampa eni enkomo anope womo ebejo so ba
Kessben.
Pitro kakamio minro kakamio.
But that's 27 after 9. Mami na a year Eclipse collateral management for Ase Papa na anope Eclipse adaro menti womwadom aboaye. Eclipse se me mo amane na menka kai wo se eni woye japade ram pacho wo japade document no fabra na womfanya adwuma entua commission ewo ho enti eye document a waye de ato wasase so edan ka any document a waye a eye valid no o de ba wo mo de be ye adwuma na afi wenye sika e de free mu at any point in time wo hia o document a wo mo de wade e besan so ama back na echeme aboa wo ye businessman or businesswoman and pay wo pay loan every bank only collateral wo de kwakoji loan na and pay only Eclipse ni nkomo omo be boa omo be assist you with collateral na wonsa echeme aka wo loan no adenta new site Abakan Street na woni wo mo eni nkomo 0266999020 0266999020 and after 0302551877 na when Eclipse collateral management ending komo anopay na wamwada roba wamwaboye think safety and a decent income opposing in a drone eye imbusteba mixture eno na anopebia menonoma na aboa na akenya nkwabo ekotia yare ni nyina enti anope wo system na ye weak yare bo kakra bia na aka wo de wato boost immune system no na woni padua no akwa na ekotia yare no enya ahotoso enkuntia yare bia anope se wutie na wo hwemia imbusteba mixture phone roi e wo dwaman so ba bia shops ahodo ni nyina no etobi anope ko herbal shops chemical shops na koje wo de open odudo mo tu afre imbus for 0246208496 0246208496 na when imbus any enkomo anope 28 minutes after 9 na mame emma a year manager ache na memano akwaba oroyima a year branch manager edema Bayport savings and loans one way heavy omo akwa for fixed deposit ediaba na fixed deposit the bank bia yebi but Bayport for the any demonstration konkra in fact say we be try here ana obehu the level of interest we sika what they call Bayport no ebetimi aba ede amount unson here ya the American wuntimi nyentum but anopay I'm just pleading with you say obeba no be try here this year sika ne kakraba fa biye investment na fa bisie Bayport wo mu new sika womu buy a check so many years they've worked for the good people of Ghana. Manager, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Radio me hoya na mpacho nso ye. Radio
me so be hoya. Only smart pa.
That's it. You say I'm in your very Mr. Speaker. In your very Mr. Speaker.
Manager.
Mr. Speaker. Mo bo ejuma.
Ejuma ni nyina na ye
mo bo ejuma.
Wadaro ba ni ye de ye yo. Mo
bo ejuma.
Bibia fine.
Radio
Bayport saying.
Bayport boko.
One case nyina hoye.
Nyame adom obia hoye. Ejuma so koso kama.
Ejuma koso. Afena so ase ye ho.
Sure.
But you didn't come on pay about fixed deposit. Na the OT any anadwuma ye ni bebre. Say nkrofo ni gidie sa. Say wo mo de mo sika be kwa kwhye baby. But I had ye yetimi di ho adanse because you mu bia try aso ahwe de ho say eboa pa enti manager ma ye ni nkomo.
Yo anapei mefa akwenya eiso ada eye Kessben etiefo ne ahwefo nyina se na oba platform kase su say a great privilege nti yada mpenifo adwuma nso show mon sane ho a etoton de bia ma ye ba ye nya platform yi na ye ne enkrofo di nketa ho no yada obi bia nso ase na fix deposit said all kind obia yebi. How different is the Bayport fixed deposit? Bayport bada ben yenso ye ne hwan mo a yenso ye can fix deposit ho asem nti no me di Bayport ho adanse kakra na machire fix deposit ni mu said ya eye adwuma fa na fenso ye de numbers ne ya ekira kwan so atodwa. Bayport Savings and Loans is a member of a multinational brand that operations in 9 countries across the world. Enti Bayport adwuma ku no nya Ghana nko na yewo ukọ wiase afa na nyina yewo nkura oronkron Ghana, South Africa, Tanzania, Botswana, Mexico, Uganda, Zambia, Colombia and Mozambique. But Ghana Bayport no yechechere no 2003 enti ye 22 years mo na yewe yewo branches in all the regional capitals afen so yewo 56 locations in Ghana. enti baby a wo bia a wo temene a wo hwɛ me baby a wo bia ye wo branch a eben 56 branches there baby a wo bia bi beso so enti no Bank of Ghana amayen abodin krata yedidi enjuma as a financial institution a omo hwɛ sɛ yedwuma di